I'm screenwriter and novelist Cole Haddon, and this is a trailer for Season 3 of 5AM StoryTalk. I know, right now you're asking yourself, why should I give another writing podcast, or screenwriting podcast, or arts and culture podcast, whatever kind of podcast 5AM Story Talk is, why should I give it a chance? I don't blame you. There are a lot of great choices of podcasts to spend your time with out there. It's not like I'm Stephen King or Charlie Kaufman or, a writer you actually give a shit about. But what I do have going for me is 20 years of experience as a screenwriter, published novelist, and author of graphic novels. Maybe, most importantly, I have a bulky metaphorical Rolodex of brilliant friends, some of the world's biggest artists and intellectuals. Every week, or at least almost every week, I'll be joined by some of them to try to make sense of what's going on in our culture. Because guys, I don't know if you've checked out the news lately. The world's gone crazy. We need art more than ever, and that's what 5AM Story Talk is here for. To talk about where we've been, where we've ended up, and where we're going, all through the lens of art and storytelling. The secret sauce, so to say, of this podcast is I ask every one of my guests to pick a seminal piece of art from their lives for us to talk about in the bonus episode. A foundational artwork that somehow shaped them and explains them. We'll interrogate it together in what I consider mini masterclasses. Though what they teach you isn't always as obvious as what the subject matter might suggest. Season 3's lineup of guests is still taking shape, but I can tell you now the conversations I've already had are blowing my mind, and I hope they will yours too. You can look forward to hearing from people like Oscar-nominated screenwriter Meg LeFauve, who wrote both Inside Outs, is the co-host of the Screenwriting Life, and one of my favorite people in the world. Australian Senator Fatima Payman will be talking about Australia's simmering culture war, freedom of speech down under, and her own rage issues. The band Rage Against the Machine. There's Emmy-nominated actress, comedian, musician, TV creator, and obviously slouch, Riki Lindhome. Zoe Gardner, who is an independent researcher and campaigner on UK immigration and asylum policy. Joe Forte, screenwriter, director, mixed media artist, and occasional international travel partner of mine. Dr. Dacker Keltner, who is leading the charge in helping us understand the role of awe in our mental health and general well-being. And next week, in Season 3's debut episode, my old friend, Independent Spirit Award-winning screenwriter and director, Justin Simien, whose documentary series Hollywood Black should be essential viewing for any cinephile. I debated for a while which chat to start this new season with, but Justin's just felt right. Filmmaking, culture wars, the threat of fascism. This is what 5AM Story Talk is about. The power of art to explain and change our world. Here's what else you can look forward to in Season 3. You might recall my epic 4-part series about my nightmarish experiences creating the TV series Dracula for NBC and Sky, a cautionary tale for screenwriters about what can happen when all your dreams come true in Hollywood. I have a lot more stories in me like that, but also pieces to come about what's happening to pop culture in a broader sense as fascists become emboldened, free speech is compromised, and media outlets merge and monopolize and change what stories we get access to. Every other week, you'll also get to enjoy a new episode of 5AM Real Talk, which is a plug I share here. It's a more off-the-cuff conversation about what I'm dealing with or even just enjoying as an artist, from producer notes to projects I'm struggling with, to films, TV, books, albums, and more that I've loved and think maybe you will too. Lastly, if you prefer video podcasts to audio podcasts, well, I've given up hiding my face from you. You can now watch these podcast episodes wherever video is available, YouTube, Spotify, Substack, you get it. I struggled with the best way to present these, but in the end I've opted for something a little basic and less polished. In a world where AI is now making everything feel increasingly unreal, I wanted to embrace a more authentic experience you can trust. 5AM Story Talk is recorded on Jara country, and I'd like to acknowledge them as the traditional owners of the land on which this podcast is recorded and pay respects to elders past and present and emerging. Sovereignty was never ceded. This podcast's music is provided by my friend Carrie Brothers, whose work you can find a link to in the episode notes too. All of this is made possible by the paid supporters of 5AM StoryTalk, who help me avoid taking on sponsorships that might result in things like commercials interrupting the episodes you listen to. I think that's it, except to say, 5AM StoryTalk is a community. Thank you for being part of it, and I hope you enjoyed this, its third season.